Hello, I am live, apparently, according to StreamYard. Welcome to everyone who's come to watch. Welcome to anyone who's going to watch it in the replay. I am Russ Leach, I'm the comic book black belt. Welcome to my dojo. And as I've been doing of late, I'm running some streams just to show the progression in the production of Only Death Can Save Us. That's my new book, which is currently in preview on Indiegogo. You can find out more about it at www.onlydeathcansaveus.com, or you can go straight to the Indiegogo preview page and sign up there, or sign up indeed elsewhere. Why have I just been... Oh, right, sorry. Boomer moment. You can sign up there. You can sign up at Indiegogo. Check me out on russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com, over on the Twitter, the Facebook, and Instagram. I'm even on Parlay as well. But I'm not posting much there because the damn thing won't let me post images, and that's all I'm really about. Posting images, comics, comic book art, that kind of thing. So let's kick off and get on with it. So in the background tonight, I will have some BB Black Dog. Again, don't try and strike my channel because I know the guys and they're eager for me to play their music, of which it is brilliant. It's a bit of a steampunk rock. It's not punk rock, it's steampunk rock. So there's what I've been doing today, I skipped a page actually. It's on page 40. If I go take a look at page 40, which I was quite pleased with today. Bit of an energy page, bit of a splash thing going on there with the energy at the bottom. Again, if everyone here who knows me and watches my channel knows that I'm obsessed with Bronze Age art, and that's where my inspiration comes from. So hopefully I'm catching some of that in there. Right now, I'm going to go up to this panel, which is D, Death, and that's the panel I'm going to be doing for the next however long this stream lasts for. Good evening, Captain. Good evening, Martin. Very nice of you to drop by. Good evening, Ronnie. Nice to see you guys. So here we go. Just penciling up. So the pencils that you see, the roughs that you see on the layer below, normally, especially seeing as I'm inking my own work, that would probably be close to being enough for me to just get on an ink. But because this is my baby, because it's my book, I'm taking that little bit extra care at the pencil stage, and not leaving it all to the inks. I want to be absolutely 100% sure that this comes out as good as I can make it. So I was over watching Rotten Glory's stream, which unfortunately I was a bit late for. So I was spending time with my wife. I know that's not a good enough excuse, but it is what it is. But they had an interesting, had a really interesting subject matter on. They were talking about echo chambers, which is obviously something we're all dealing with at the moment. But they were also talking about Sean Gordon Murphy, and his removal from Twitter. I'm mixed on it. I do have some opinions about the fact that I think he's kind of bottling it to a degree. I do appreciate he's got a career to look after. I do appreciate that he has people depending on him, and that he's got the opportunity to do something fantastic with Batman. However, he's still a prisoner, isn't he? He's a prisoner of the people around him and the businesses around him. And I suppose he's happy with that. At the moment, he's probably getting paid a shitload of money, more than I'll ever make out of comics, probably. But I don't know. It's just bending the knee. Oh, that's a popular expression. I'm not going to get involved in that. You know, it's just like, I don't know, disappointed me a bit because I was hoping he was going to straddle both worlds. You know, the indie world and the mainstream world, and possibly he could help bring it together, because that's, at the end of the day, we're all making comics. That's what we should be focusing on, making comics. And that other subject that the guys were talking about in the panel, you know, the echo chamber is all part of it. People just repeating the same opinions to each other and patting each other on the back for repeating those same opinions like fucking zombies. It's like, you know, people need to have some critical thought. That's not what they're teaching in our schools at the moment. Or anywhere, it seems. Nobody has a critical thought amongst them anymore. But there you go. But on a lighter note, the work is coming together really well with this. I'm really pleased with the progress. I had to take a couple of days away. I actually got some real work, which is difficult in these times. So I got on and did that. It was only a couple of days' work, so it's not enough to take me away from this for too long. And there's a possibility that I might have some storyboarding work at the end of the month for a film I've been working on prior to COVID. But again, it's not enough work to take me away from this, which is like, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because I'm not getting paid for this until I go to funding, and hopefully enough people will like the book and appreciate the work I'm putting into it, that it will make me enough money that I don't have to rely on those other jobs. That's the goal. Keep making Only Death Can Save Us books. So I think maybe at some point when I'm doing one of these streams, I should have somebody else come in, because I can't talk and stream. I can't talk and draw. It's not a power I possess, or a particularly good power I possess. I do the best, but hopefully you guys are here just to see the work progress. I do believe that something's going on at 10 o'clock or so. Is that right, Captain? You still there? I think something else is occurring. So when I'm finished with that, when I'm finished with this, I'll nip over and see what's going on. It might be on Comic Mark's channel, or not sure. So the pages that I've got here, the one that I just showed earlier, it's the first time you really see D. That's Death, I suppose. D, his proper name, and Satana, the bad guy, start to get on for a bit of a punch up. And it's the beginning of the end of the book, where we find out Chrissy's fate and what that means for the Only Death Can Save Us series moving forward, because she's a major part of it. But I can't say much else because I don't want to give away the story. Hopefully people will like it. I was privy to a couple of conversations today where they were talking about artists and artists not necessarily always being the best writers, which is probably the truth, to be honest. Hopefully that I've done a good enough job with this that it will entice people to come back and see what happens next. It will be a cliffhanger, but it will also be a whole story on its own, so like comics of old, so that you feel fulfilled at the end of the book. You feel like you've read a whole story, but there's quite obviously more to come. And that's where my original concept was to get guest writers in to write each book afterwards. I don't know quite how that's going to work or who I'm going to get to write it. But obviously I do know a few writers. So we'll see where that goes. I think it might be a good idea, actually, because it could give each book a slightly different flavour. And so sort of it's got built-in variety because of the way that the story can go, the places it can go. I have got an overall arc that I have in my head for it, and so I can brief the writers on that and sort of steer the way through, as it were. Evening, Dave. Thank you very much for dropping by. People dropping in, saying hi. That's very nice. It's great to get so much support from the people I've met, actually, online. As much as the online world is a bit shit sometimes, with some of the characters that float around on there, I've managed to meet up with some extremely decent people. And it makes all the difference, especially since most of your time as a freelance artist you spend on your own, in a little cave like this, drawing away, and only really speaking on occasion to editors and writers. It's nice to be sort of in an environment where you've got lots of different characters and people you can throw ideas off, which is always helpful. And of course, the other great thing is you meet people along the way, other talents, that you can do things like having guest artists in on the book, which is always really cool. So the captain's doing a bit of colour on a couple of pin-ups for me. I've got Rob Willis ready to draw me a pin-up. I've got Renzo Rodriguez ready to go. Mike Emirates is agreed to do one for me as well. And Amrit Birdie, username Eve, he's also agreed to do one. So these are all great artists in their own right, all with unique styles, which is what I wanted. I wanted to see my characters done by other people in a different way. So Yeah, really looking forward to seeing what they're going to produce for me. I can't give them a brief yet because I wanted to wait until the pencils are all finished so that I can give them a solid idea of the characters, the story. But really, really looking forward to seeing what those guys can do with it. I'll be on a show tomorrow. I'm on Jeff Lafferty's show, which means I've got to get up at some ungodly hour in the morning. Jeff is turn that down a little bit. Jeff is a brilliant artist, and I think it's 100 days of comic books he's doing at the moment. So he's got someone on every night, along with his drawing partner. So I'm probably going to go for another half an hour here, I think. Don't want to go too long because I want to see what's going over. Have you got a printer lined up for your project, Martin? Thanks for asking. Mixam, is it? I think that's one that a lot of people go for in the UK. I've spoken to a few other people, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Whatever it is, I want good quality on it. And the options to do lots of different things with it. So one of my tiers, or one of the stretch goals I'm hoping for, would be spot color or emboss, maybe. I don't know, something like that. But we'll see how it goes. It's a black day as well. So the idea was that I would have pretty much the artwork complete all the way through to colours before I went for funding, before I went to the Indiegogo campaign. But time just isn't on my side for that. I want to get it out this year, and I don't want to leave the campaign too late in the year. So I've gone for a 1st of September launch, or thereabouts, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever. I was thinking about launching on a Monday. And by that time I should be sort of half to 3/4 of the way through the inks. So there'll still be a little bit of work to do on it, but there's no doubt I'll have the whole thing finished by the end of the 60-day campaign. So it will be ready to go to print as soon as the campaign finishes. Just checking where the light source was. light sources behind him. I'm deep in concentration again. Sorry, everybody. Last thing I want to be doing is putting this on to listen to me. It's all about the drawing. Jeff is indeed awesome, Ronnie. Jeff is awesome. So looking forward to being on his show again, because it's always good fun on there. Bum, bum, bum. Start singing like Rolf Harris. Myself in trouble. So I think probably what I'll do is I'll go to the end of this panel, and then I'll leave it there. Yeah, because the light source is behind, so it here's the right way around. Bell's going on a bit long. Stopped. So I think what I'm going to do is I've been doing these streams. I think when I'm drawing, it's just so people, if they're interested, they can come and see what I'm doing. Hey, Rotten Glory. Thank you for having me in the other week. That was great. Let's go. Show dropping by, no problem at all. Love to come on again at some point. Really enjoyed the stream tonight. I only saw half of it, but really enjoyed the conversation. Excellent stuff. Like I was saying, I'm doing these streams for people to see what I'm doing. The idea being is that it's a complete opening up of my process so that people can see how I'm putting the book together. for them to learn from my mistakes and the things that I do, but also as kind of like building that trust as well, so that when the campaign does go live, people can see that there's a product for the most part already put together, and ergo their risk is light. I don't just want to rely on any kind of professional name that I might have. I mean, it's only a small career that I have, but obviously working on some of the bigger names like Doctor Who and what have you, it at least shows people that I'm capable of putting comics together. I'm capable of bringing the skills to the pages, as I've already proven it for other publishers. Obviously, it's a slightly different skill set, and hats off to all those people that are drawing their own books, getting them printed, delivered, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I think it's important to show my process, so that people can see what I'm doing, and they don't just have to trust blindly that the work is being done for their pledges. I think that's an important thing. And then connecting. But like I say, I'm doing this at the moment. I think probably what I'll do moving on is maybe do not a live stream, but do like ink a panel, and then just pop that up one at a time, so you can see the inking process. Not all of them, just a few select ones, and then people can kind of follow that if they want to. Cheers, Rotten. Nice to be welcomed anywhere. So, because I'm not the most entertaining when I'm drawing. Like I say, if you're here to watch the drawing and you're happy to do that, that's great. But I won't do quite as many live streams on the inking. I'll just, as I say, do those panels so that people can see the process. I'm absolutely loving doing this, though. Yeah, to be working on your own character is a real joy. It took me a while to come to that conclusion. I'm on record as saying all I ever wanted to do was draw comics, and draw comics for a page rate, be considered professional enough and good enough for what I did to be paid for the work. And I was fortunate to do a little bit of that in the UK, but it soon became obvious that chances to get into the mainstream industry were next to zero for myself. I'm just the wrong demographic to be starting the job this late in life. Just unfortunately, merit doesn't seem to get you anywhere these days in that particular industry, or very little of it. Certainly, it would have been such an uphill struggle that it would have been difficult to do it as a job. Like I say, most of my money, most of my work recently has been storyboarding, and and doing the work for Charisma, which is comic book based, but it's all digital storytelling and using AIs to get you into the story, which I think is an evolution of comics. But it's not comics as I love them. So as much as I'm happy and keen, actually, it's a really good job, really good project to be working with. Keen to do more with them, very keen to do more with them. I do want to get this done, and I do want to have the time and the ability to do more of this. I was talking about getting these pencils to a little bit more of a finished level. It's because I will be doing some mixed media artwork, so it'll be like digital and traditional artwork all in one piece of original artwork, and that will be of the pages. And I think I'm looking at 10 pages that I'll be doing that for the book, and that will be 10 one tier of 10 items. So if people want a piece of original artwork from the book, it'll be mixed media, but it will be original artwork. And hopefully people will want to have some of that, because I'll put a lot of effort into those. I'll show you in a minute some of the ones that I'm going to be inking up for that tier. So I've finished off this bit. Right, okay, that's the figures done there. So actually page 40 is going to be one of those pages that I'll be doing in traditional inks. Printing out the digital pencils and overlaying original inks for that. What else? Good. I'll give you another example. This one will be one of those pages, and one that I put on Instagram today, which is a big smashy thing. That one will be coming up. This one as well. That will be a page that people will be able to own. So I'm quite pleased with the way it's all looking. So I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. I'll try and finish off this this panel, because I want to see what's going on over on the other channel. that really handy tool is the radial lines tool. So there's a I have to go and get some reference from another page to remember exactly what's going on with these boxes, but they're effectively machinery that create the wormhole. They all come through at the start of the book. So again, I don't have to be too detailed with this at the moment, because I'm going to go off and get some reference for it. But just for tonight, just for this, I'll just pop this in. And then use that to fill in the rest. Such a great tool, this. Let's put some debris in. There we go. I think I'll leave it at that, actually. So let's see if there's anybody else. Hi, Ronnie. Welcome anytime. I know this is petty, but from marketing point, I changed the avatar slightly. Mike Miller has used red and white sun ray background for a long time, and I think of him whenever I see it. Oh, right, okay. I'll have a look. Yeah, okay, I'll reconsider that. Thank you very much for that, Ron. And yeah, the pencils, it's because I want to get it right. I just want to get it right. I want to make sure so that when I'm inking, so that when I'm inking, I just know exactly where I'm going. I don't want to have to play with the inks at all. I just want to lay them down. So when I get to the inks, normally if I'm, as you suggested, where I pencil myself, I pencil light and then ink when I'm doing other people's work. But for my own, I want to make sure I want to absolutely nail it, and I want the inks to just fly. So if I've done all the heavy lifting as far as the creation is concerned at the pencil level, then I don't have to think much when it gets to inks. The idea of Captain Fuckhead watching me while he's naked is, I'm not impressed with that. I'm not impressed with that at all. So anybody who is watching on the replay, thank you very much for watching. Anybody who is already subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. It means a huge amount for you to listen to me bumble on about comic books and comic book art and my own art, and to come and watch my content. And for those people who were in the chat, Captain Fuckhead, Martin Stevenson, Bristolian Dave, Crimson Owl, Ronnie, Comics, Rotten Glory, thank you very much for turning up. El Gargoyle, thank you very much for turning up. It really means a lot that you guys come over and just watch me go on a bit. So speak for yourself, I'm impressed. No, naked. I'm kilted now. Have you got anything on under your kilt? That's important. Right, so I'm going to shoot now. Hopefully Captain Fuckhead isn't. I'm going to go now. You can find me at comicbookblackbelt.com, russleach.com, over at onlydeathcansaveus.com. That's the name of the book that you've been watching the pencils for. It's on preview right now on Indiegogo, so you can check that out and sign up for the email list either there or at the website. You can get me on the Twitter, on the Facebook, and you can get me on Instagram and even over at Parlay when they start sorting out their image uploads. Thanks ever so much to everybody that's turned up in the chat. Thank you very much. If you've been watching on replay, I'll be back with another video again in the dojo real soon. See ya. Bye-bye.